We are 16 minutes away from 4 p.m., which is our closing time for recording. And I don't have any topic today, and that's why the title of this live stream is the date of the day. And I thought today's the date of 8, but actually it's the date of 6. So like 2 days from now, we are like in the milestone of 5, which is our fifth month of doing this. And I'm like, can't believe that we are here once again. Every month, I cannot believe that I'm still doing this. And I thought about like something that I haven't mentioned in couple of the last couple of stream, which is like I was getting into the summary of why I was sharing what I thought about the shows that I'm watching. And there was a scandal apparently in that show, and one of the contestants was rumored to be involved in infidelity. So the girl, the name Guri, was rumored to have an infidelity with a married married man, and while shooting the shows, and nothing has been confirmed until now, and the rumor has been going on since last June, and now there is no news. So, and her scene in the shows is really cutting short. I'm just like, this is too bad. The show is good actually. Now I know why people were talking about the show were focusing on one particular contestant, because there is a scandal involving in the process of of airing the show. And while there is no confirmation about if it's true or not, it's still they still need to air the show somehow, and they cut with that person who has this scandal, and then the other person has more airtime because of that. And that's why it seems like there is just one couple that is just having the highlight all of the journey. It's not like it's not reasonable. And that's why like what I want to say about like the last couple of stream was, sometimes when there are things that was said to be bad, you need to see it yourself to know if it's truly that bad, or if it's like a reasonable solution for the problem. Because now it sounds like it is, and it's not that bad. The show is actually really good. Um, it's a lot more turbulence in the show than the previous season, so it's actually not that bad. And yeah, whenever there is conflict, it's always it's highly possible that you have not seen all the evidence, all the proof, all the other sides of of the story, and eventually you just focus on one lane of the story, and that's all you know as truth. And I had this problem when I was younger, when my friend had a conflict, and I was the meditator of their conflict, and I only lean into one person, and eventually my friendship with the other friend was broke off because of that, was end because of that. And I just defend this person because of how close I think I was with this person. But eventually I also drift away from this person because apparently my standard, my value in life, it's not matching. and and she have this really toxic idea about what life can be. And eventually I'm just like, okay, I don't think I'm the best friend for you to stay in contact with, so I'm going to let you go. One of my other friends who is still in my circle at the time, who also get to know this person that I'm defending, she said like, I think like she drifted away at some point. Do you remember her? And I'm like, I know I let her to drift away. And the truth coming out as that, and I still don't know how it came to be. Because I've never like looked for the truth, like really detail oriented like that. I'm just caring about what my truth is, and that's all I care about. And I learned throughout my life to listen, listen, and then choose, listen, and then choose. And that's what I've been doing. And that's why, like, whenever something is going bad, something is having a conflict, terrible decision, whatever it is that have a really negative impact, I always like have this doubt. I allow doubt to slip in because it might not be all that is. It might might something there's something that can be false, because in a conflict, emotion involved, and you tend to exaggerate some of the stories, some of the fact, some of the things that happen in the story, and eventually it's so far apart from the truth itself. Even though like they didn't diminish the a single speck of this truth, of the truth of this part of the story, even though sounds like that, it's still like there is something that is not right. And I try so hard, but then these two shows that I still haven't watched, which is like the first show is the dating shows that I already watched, and the second is actually the Disclosure Day. I haven't watched that because I don't have the like the interest is not aligned yet. I think when I have the alignment to the highest, then I will watch it. But now I still put it in my playlist just in case I want to watch it right away. So yeah, that's like one of the things that I want to share first of all, because there is so many other things. And the second thing is that, you know, my project of not talking to myself, I eventually receive the benefit of remembering myself. This is so interesting because when I have my sense of self stretch so far, I get to blur some of this really decisive point of my character, and eventually I blur myself out of my reality, and I tend to forget things more often as I stretch my sense of self more and more. So I decided to cut that off because the project of expanding my social skill has already heightened enough that I can belong to the society. Then I just need to get back to myself and start to operate like someone who have sense of control, because nowadays I can't remember things. It's so weird. Like I become so what do you call it when someone actually have amnesia? No, dementia. It's like I become such an old person that I have a dementia early on, and then I don't really remember what I talk about sometimes. But now, since I learned how to speak up for half an hour and maybe like a lot longer now, I get to remember what were the points that I have shared. And it was really really tiring to never remember what I said, because then did I say that? Did I say that? But when I just remember about this point that I want to talk about before we started live, I just forgot the feeling of what day is today. Because in my time, today is Wednesday, right? Oh, today is Thursday, but I thought it was like Saturday or maybe like Sunday because of the timing and the vibe of the weather and all that stuff. But apparently just Thursday. So sounds like I still need some work. And I think I'm going to extend the time to not talk to myself. I think I have broke it for quite a bit now, because I thought at first, I thought I already finished some of the adjustment to be like, okay, this is enough, we don't need to do more. But then I'm like realizing, oh, there are still things that I need to see, but I need to test out before I know it's finished already. So sometimes when I go into such a personal project like this, like stop talking to myself, I get to test here and there. And if I still see like some of my characters, some of the situation I'm in are still not up to my standards the way I want it to be, I will stretch the timing itself. And that's why like my project of extend of expanding my own sense of identity, my sense of yeah, my sense of self is so big. It's like a 5 to 6 years of project. I didn't even think about the timing. I'm just like, is it enough? No, it's not enough. Okay, let's go for more. Is it enough? No, it's not. And then I go into a test, and I get into the feeling like it's not comfortable yet. So that's like the main test that I do. Am I comfortable enough to say like this is my truth? Or am I still like feeling, oh my god, this is so hard to do. I can't be in this. I can't do this without pushing myself. I cannot do this without forcing myself. And because I did this, I get to see, oh, now I can retract some of the things that I usually say because of the desire to belong to some society. I can like not say the things, like think about it first before I say it out loud. That is the first thing that I want to achieve in this project of not talking to myself, because I always share whatever it is that is in my mind. So the chatter, I share it. The process of how I think about the things I want to say, I say it. And it's not as relevant, it's not as important, because the time for someone else to hear what I want to say is also very important, because you will not have any time available for to hear what I want to say. So I need to like shorten it up in the most efficient way possible. That's one of the ways. And I also like, if it's like this, if I can start get a hang of, I found the tools to like in the music is actually music equalizer. So that part when you pull one key and then other just adjust it itself. So I'm actually doing that right now. And I'm doing that with my output, which is like how I say myself, how I put effort, how I stay in contact with my ambition, how I stay in contact with whatever I want in life. So the first thing now is actually how I share what I want to share with that. Because sometimes like I have this fear of, did I say enough? Is this person understand what I'm saying? Am I like being so hard on being so strict, rigid with the other person's feelings? If it's not, then we just can stop to not think about that. But sometimes this is the problem, is that someone out there cannot just do it. I think I already told you about that. And the process of getting someone to eventually just do it is this. Sometimes it's this. You do it in such a strict, all-in way that eventually you start to shift yourself. The comfortable of where you stand on the range, in the range, eventually shift because you chosen to not do certain things. So now I'm not talking to myself, getting me into this idea that, okay, we can now start to hold back whatever we want to say. That's the good thing. But also, like, I have a, this is something that I just forgot about what to say. Neshi. That was Korean for 4 o'clock. What do you call it? The comfortableness is that you feel comfortable. Like this is your way. This is you. That shift will is something that you can have, but it will take time for you to have because of that. And I'm doing that in such a way that it is not like I'm trying, but I'm just choosing. I'm choosing this. This is my decision. There is nothing that will lead me into not doing this. The other things that I found is that I tested myself in the MBTI personality test, and I found out that currently I'm an INTP. Now, there's a great things about INTP, and there's a bad thing about INTP. INTP is really perceptive about their own world, but there is a sense of distant emotional connection. That's one of the things. But then I already cover that up because as an INTJ, when I was younger, it was so hard to actually connect with people. And that was like my biggest flaw. I don't know how to feel other people in a such a way that humanly possible. I always just like see the outer layer. It's like I'm seeing a painting, but I'm seeing the painting instead of I'm being the painting. Because sometimes people, when they see the painting, they start to connect with their own experience. I don't have that. I just like, oh, that's the color of yellow. That's the color of blue. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, look at the what do you call it? The thickness of the oil paint. Oh, look at how this person paint the eye. Like I don't see the story of the painting. I'm just like start seeing the detail of it. Like, oh, it's moving this way. It's like having this texture. Oh, it's drawn this way. Oh, this is like the combination of this is actually like this. Oh, it makes me feel good and all that stuff. But to get a full story of what that painting is all about is like it's not in my field. Like I'm totally detached from that reality because it's like I saw something unalive that it is just something. It's a thing. It's not like, oh, it's a someone paint this because they want to convey this feeling, and I feel it right now and all that stuff. And I don't as an INTJ, and I already covered that part of the emotion really extensively. So my way to cover my emotion deficit is actually going into, because this is the middle range, this is the upper range, this is the lower range. So mine is always like in the middle range because I see everything in such an objective point of view. I just see it from this, and then when I start to go into the darkness, I literally go below the lower range and I just feel the suffering and all this stuff. I feel the hard times, and then when I get into middle range again, I get to see, oh, this is the feeling. This is the turbulence of how your emotion flows. And then I go into up, 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 and then I go into the middle again. That's the journey that I'm in. I didn't go higher than the middle point because I know that if I go beyond the middle point, beyond the upper point, the top point, I eventually will have myself experience those distant, detached emotion again, because that's what I used to feel. It was in the middle, but also like it was like beyond the range. It's not in the range. It's a weird feeling. That's why I used to feel like I'm a freaking alien because of that. Because I can see the between the lines. I can see that clearly, but I can't really like be in the middle of the line. It's a weird feeling. And so many people who was born as an indigo, as a gifted, spiritually gifted child, has those troubles to eventually belong with humans, because human these days, especially in my past, have a tendency to build up the suffering to such a degree that we just like, how do I can get it? Why did you do it? It is so mind-boggling to me that you decided to do that. It's like so easy to do it this way instead, but you decided you want to go lower than everything else, but then you stay there. That was the most suffering for those who witness their evolution. And if you're such an empath, that is hard. That's beyond hard, because you feel yourself, but you also feel them. It's like there is no gap between your reality and their reality, and you are blending the two when there is no need for you to do that. But because that's just your norm, you just did it right away without you doing anything, because that's your system to begin with. So yeah. And now that I'm here, other things that I want to start adjusting is the way I put out my work, because I now understand that as myself, I am more comfortable with having a list, which is great. But then pandanan, my judgment is a bit off, because I can't like really get on it. This is something that I used to be so great at, and I can't stray away from my list because of that, because I was so great at going on the list, and I have no problem just working my ass off. But nowadays I'm like, oh, we need routines, and now I'm building my routines. I'm like, we have this, we have this, we have to do it by our own, and there are deadlines to get things done. And now I'm actually getting back on it and having the list really written down in such a way that is detailed, that is efficient, and also like action oriented. But to do that, I feel like I need to just like get on it, like just like how I did with no talking itself. But the problem with all in is that you need a really decisive decision choice to eventually get on it without looking back. Now with this idea of putting myself, overworking myself to my core, is actually something that I haven't decided on why I want to do it, on what point I want to do it. It's always like at some point I want my work to be effortlessly flowing. Is it possible? There are people who actually make it possible that way. And I don't think I'm one of them. That's the problem. But if we can make it our thing, then it will be great. But I don't know how I'm going to get there yet. My fail is failing right now. What else do we want to talk about? The adjustment. Have you noticed yourself about that adjustment? Like, oh my God, I don't like this. And then instead of blaming yourself or blaming other people, you just like take it to, okay, we don't like it. What can we do? And this is like the problem with most protests. Why I don't feel like I would be one of those people who protest on the street, because I'm more like the action oriented. If I don't like something, I would actually put myself on work to change whatever narrative that is. But I also have watched someone put the idea out that why did they actually protest on the street? Well, that's what I believe. So I just want to stay true with what I believe, great. And there are people who actually here just to do that. So if that's like your truth, it's fine. But mine is more like, okay, I don't like this. I like it this way. And then I go out there to put things on place and in peace, in complete puzzle to the reality that I'm willing to live in. That's exactly like what I'm doing right now, building that narrative out. So yeah. What did we talk about this? I actually tried to retrace it for a bit, and I hate myself. I know I can like stretch into like 20 to 30 minutes without knowing time has flowed, but now like sometimes I still forget what I am saying. Oh, yeah. What about you? If you see something that you don't like, what do you do with it? Have you like alchemized your feeling into the next action? Have you become that problem solver to your own problem? Because sometimes like the biggest, I think like my biggest failure in life is that I tend to make myself the problem instead of the solution, because I'm the driver of my own reality, and I need to start doing the things that I feel I need to do to eventually achieve the reality I want to live in. But that needs me to be so action oriented, so attentive with myself, and have those process alchemizing whatever I know to the new reality of like, okay, this is the new one. Okay, this is something that actually a lot more aligned than the last thing we did. Okay, this is something that I actually great to experience. Okay, this is something that we can try and all that stuff. So the needles start to move because you understand. I feel bad. I feel terrible. I get it. I get it. It's like you feel terrible about something, and then eventually you see the problem, and then you put yourself in the solutions driver, the solution car, and you start moving from there. And I wish like more people have this ability to start alchemizing whatever it is that they have inside, because then they are building the neuron for our human consciousness, and therefore there are more people able to get away from such a reality because somebody else has done it. Somebody else, even though like if they don't know, like they already like have this feeling that they can do it, like they can achieve whatever reality they are going after. That's like why I'm here. That's why like when this person in this the contestant in the dating show that I watch has a scandal, I'm like, okay, how true is this? How is the staff doing? How is it impacting um their shows? How is the news impacting this contestant? How is it impacting other people? Because sometimes like it's not as bad. But even if there are people who do the infidelity in their relationship, it's more like if it happens, isn't it better to just be known? Like it's coming out as the secret, as not secret anymore. Like I try to I tend to see the positive things of bad behavior, and the more spiritual shift I got is that sometimes bad things happen because something need to be alchemized, just like how this world came to be. There are so many pain trigger out there that was being revealed that eventually we all need to alchemize this story into something better, to something greater. But in order to do that, we need to see it first. It's the pain. And that's what we're doing right now. And those people who has the infidelity in a relationship, at some point they need to see the truth. And it is not great that the news was outspoken in such a public way. But even then, there will be like some area of some circle of people that will know about this thing, and they need to start working on the stories about what that part of their life is going to be. Like, it's not going to be like that bad all the time. The story will be good when you decide it will. But then it takes courage, it takes patience, it takes vulnerability to eventually do that. Some people have it, some people don't. But if you don't have the necessity need to make the alchemization happen, then work with someone. Have someone to support you in order to make it happen. There are more and more help out there than you think. And I share this in one of the groups that I'm in. I'm just like, there are more kind people who wants to help you here. I wish you share what you are struggling with. I'm just being so supportive in the group that I'm in, because that's like the role I'm taking myself to be part of. It's not like I have all the capacity to be all great by myself, because sometimes I need someone out there to support me. But I have yet find one, and that's why I have such an extensive system to support myself. Like, if I'm having this emotion that is not great and I feel terrible and it's killing myself, and it's like nipping away all the edges that I have, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so terrible. It's almost like I'm entering the depressive circle that I'm talking about a few the last live stream. And if that happened, and I already have the system that can support myself. And that's also like what you are building when you are working with someone. You are working to build on the system that can support you without their help eventually. But then there is also the other side. There are people who cannot, who will never build whatever system they need, because they need to work with someone else forever and forevermore. Those people need to have some grace within themselves and know that it is out of their control, and this is just their destiny to work with someone out there. I come to know that someone might born with this forever flaw in their life because they choose that records. They choose to live the Akashic records of never finding the solution of whatever problem they have, because they need that intensity. Just like how someone is born gay, or maybe someone is born without some of their senses, their sight, or with the smell or the taste, maybe like they don't actually hear anything. That intensity is sometimes needed, and we don't need to feel bad about why they have it in the first place. And as well, also, like, I stopped being pitiful to other people. I'm like, well, if you have it, that's on you. I am not obligated to say other things that will ease your pain. You need to take it as a champion. And if you feel bad about your situation, too bad, because it will not get any better. I will still say it that way, because that's the truth. They cannot help it, and there is no way to get out from their situation. I was, in my school days, I was someone who will say the most harshest things that someone can ever say. And whenever my friend have something that's really terrible to be said that they don't want to say, they will say it to me, and I will lay it out to the person who need to hear it. Good thing is that nobody has ever like pick a fight with me whenever I say it like that, because they know it's the truth. You can't even like say otherwise. And I'm like, I was once sensed something really intrusive about a guy who was attracted to my friend. And I'm just seeing that this person actually making my friend become so overwhelmed, uncomfortable. And I just like knock him out with my word. And I said something that I don't remember. This is how I know that what I say is the truth. What I say is just like in my most authentic emotion, because I don't know what I said. But I know that I just said to him, like, stop doing what you're doing. You are making my friend uncomfortable. And then I think like eventually he gets what I actually did. And at the time he's still like processing, but I think after that occasion he started to drift away from my friend. My friend started to have her freedom back, and I'm like, yeah, great. And then because it was actually with a lot of people, I said it like in their face when someone out there, when we were actually in the group setting, and I say it out loud, and then other people looking at me like, ooh, it's like I'm roasting this person. I'm just like, no, I'm just actually telling this person the truth. It doesn't seem like he know the truth. And I'm triggered by this person's idea of like I can have this person to like me. And I'm like, no, you can't. No, you can't. I think you are delusional. And after that incident, one of the friend that was in that group, that is not the friend that I'm roasting and the friend that I'm defending, just some random friend in the group come to sit on a lunch with me. I'm like, why did you eat lunch with me? It was so weird. But I think like he was intrigued by my word, and we just eat with in silence because I don't have anything else to say. I was such a quiet girl. Never need to say anything. Never need to make other people comfortable. It's a weird time. I think you will not believe me if I say like I was not this person even like 5 years ago. 5 years ago, 2021, I was not this person. I was like talkative and all that stuff. But yeah, my journey is like ranging from extreme to extreme. Sometimes like extreme going to the negative, and then the neutral, and then the positive, and then the extreme. I was like I was like having this range of all the things that I can experience. And now I'm like start readjusting. Okay, this we don't need to be this extreme about this thing. Like just go back into the balanced state, or maybe like go into the negative state. It's fine. You are not becoming unlikable. You are just becoming yourself. It's okay to be so different. Someone out there might say like, you need to be your authentic self. And I'm like, you always being your authentic self. You never being someone else. Whatever you think you are copying other people, it's already filtered from your system. And when you eventually do it from yourself, nobody actually say it to you like, hey, say it this way. You just do it by yourself. It's already you. Like you never been someone else. Be your true self. I'm like, bitch, you always is. What are you saying? So yeah, I got to the 40 minutes. Look at that. So yeah, this is all I want to say today. And thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.